We have reached number 28, and it's a name that rolls right off the tongue. It's the French maestro Louis-Charles Mahe de la Bourdonnais. Born in 1795, died penniless in London in 1840, but played some great chess in between. Peter, I struggle a bit with these guys from the 1800s because it's so hard to compare, right? We skipped some from the list, like Paulsen and Harvitz, but de la Bourdonnais, he's a bit earlier than these other people where there's more stuff happening, but he's quite dominant as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, A, we're definitely not an expert, not even close. B, as you say, it's extremely difficult comparing these. We think La Bourdonnais belongs in sort of the Hall of Fame and even quite high as number 28 based us. Well, I think it seems obvious that he was the best player in the world for more than 10 years. And I think he beats Deschapelles in 1821, who was sort of regarded as very strong, at least in France and such. And then, 13 years later, they seem to start. I think a lot seen as the world's first unofficial World Championship match, where he plays actually 6 matches against McDonald, but we can consider it as one big match if we chose to. And that seems to basically be, England and France putting their best player against each other. And, that was a serious contest, and he won it by a huge margin. I think he won 45 games and lost 27 with only 13 draws. So we think there is the components. There is a considerable amount of time where he's the best player in the world. And then there is a serious competition with a challenger that he wins by a huge margin. And, that, as we see, it qualifies for getting into the Hall of Fame, but it's a difficult subject. Also, he does leave some kind of legacy in literature, talking about his ideas and such. I guess also it helps him that despite being that early, the games are sort of recorded, while earlier games we will get to one player later, but there's not that many games actually as such. So.
Right. And also, by these soft facts, I'm not sure how it was for you, but I heard about de la Bourdonnais very early on, that match in this famous position we're about to see. Well, frankly, guys like Paulsen and Harvitz, I barely ever heard of. Of course, it's not their fault, but it's impact-wise, it must have.
I think, they will get among honorable mentions, and they do have quite some good historical ratings, because they actually come into the time that's covered by Sonat, which I think La Bourdonnais exactly doesn't. But they don't impress us to the same extent. And you have to make some choices. And we thought that La Bourdonnais had a lot of things speaking in his favor in that sense. And I think no one is disputing that he's the best player in the world for quite some time. And he actually gives a kind of challenger the chance to show he's not, and he very sort of with a huge score, and effectively beats the challenger, and in that sense sort of proves himself on the board as well, and does that for quite a long time. So I guess it matters to us that he's basically undisputed as the best at the time. There's no one who could come with a reasonable claim, and
when you say at the time, that's from like 1820 till this match we're talking about is when 1834, somewhere in that neighborhood, right?
We have to take it from somewhere, and they say basically from 1821 he's beats Deschapelles, and then 1834 he has this 6 matches actually in Westminster against MacDonald, the Irishman, where he wins 4 and loses 1, and then the last one is stopped when he's behind by 1 point. But if you look at the overall score, he's plus 18, so that is completely crushing, of course. But also there is some interesting descriptions about the match that, they don't play with a time control. So McDonald would sit there and think very hard, while La Bourdonnais seems to be more of a showman. So he would go around and talk with people and discuss politics and such. And while McDonald will be very tired after the games, so La Bourdonnais will start and play some blitz games. I mean, you can picture some persons in that roles and such, right?
Living the life.
Yeah, it could be anecdotes, but still, that's the anecdotes we have.
Yeah, French dominance in that time. No, Philidor was before that, then Deschapelles, de la Bourdonnais.
Yeah. Well, later, France starts importing players, but this is actually homegrown, right? So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, let's look at his...
Must have been a good time in the Café de la Régence.
Exactly.
But he had to travel to London to face Mr. Alexander MacDonald. And
yeah, it was worth it. I mean, this one is a gem. We wouldn't have liked to be without in the chess history, right?
Let's have a look. This is from 1834.
From a start, it looks like Black has a pretty good position, right? So.
Maybe you can see, I don't know, making stuff up, but the teachings of Philidor, pawns control the center, all that good stuff.
A couple of bishop helps, but
yeah, he's an exchange down, though. But these
I didn't see that, to be honest, but okay. Mm-hmm.
And basically, the reason why me, and I'm sure you as well, saw this game early on is because the final position is very picturesque. These pawns are running. So it's usually included in whatever, these lists of the world's 50 greatest chess games. I had a book back in
You cannot have, you can debate the quality up to here, but the final position you cannot debate.
No,
still, it looks pretty cool, right? I mean, there's a lot of nice tactics at this point. This one is not too cool.
It's not hard to believe that Black is doing well. Yeah, he parries the attack here with Queen C8 and now pushes.
I'll be honest, I haven't checked it with a computer, but yeah, I would expect it to be very positive.
Still, it is very pretty.
Yeah, now it's funny. You're threatening to take an E1, right? There is enough...
Yeah, you can't go E2. Because
no, he will give up 2 rooks, but still it's only 2 rooks.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
I think you have to take the queen.
White wins.
I think you missed mate in 2 there, sorry.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I do better?
Nah.
Not really, right?
No.
So I am actually winning here. That's a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
Still, what he did is nicer.
Yeah. Anyway, we should have stayed with only the last diagram, but okay.
Nah, Queen D1 is cool.
Yeah. I mean...
Rook D1, E2. Sometimes you see 2 pawns here, but 3 is rare.
I don't recall any other examples, right? I mean, this is actually... I don't think anyone is disputed that this actually happened, right? So it's... no, this is... it's impressive. Queen F3, there is E1 check, right? So I don't think there's any anyway. So
nice spot.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, it's very pretty, and he also seemed to just be... We had started earlier, just to understand chess much better than MacDonald. No, like already here,
yeah,
you can see.
I mean, well, I haven't played through the whole match. I'll have to admit it's a lot of games, but they will have ups and downs. And when you see a game like this, you are puzzled that MacDonald's actually wins now and then, right? But it's early days. Also, you can see the draw rate is very small and such. But I think to be just the strongest player at the time, and also would talk about it and write about it and such. And well, I think. Had it been later, has he been born 150 years later and had the same results, well, we would have him much, much higher. But, well, there has to be some discount for that. And, well, we think 28 is a fair spot.
There you go. Shout out to de la Bourdonnais. And we'll see you.
France.
To France, of course. We'll see you at 27.